Ladies and gentlemen, don't you love how when things don't go their way, suddenly the rule of law and respect for our institutions and trust for our government institutions and the reverence for our democracy just flies out the window? So, this is the New York Times. Deeply problematic. Experts question judge's intervention in Trump inquiry. And then you click on the article, deeply problematic, a ruling by a judge appointed by former President Donald Trump. I mean, come on. Surprised specialists and can slow the document investigation. If they had a case against him, they would have already indicted him. They might actually indict him knowing very well that they'll lose. They won't be able to convict a former president with the right to own those documents at one point, or with the highest level security clearance and a former president who we know how he obtained those documents and was negotiating with the National Archives, and the Presidential Records Act doesn't even have an enforcement mechanism. So this was basically a high-level, out of control negotiation or disagreement between the United States and a former president pertaining to boxes of information that the former president lawfully, obviously acquired when he was in the Oval Office, that spun out of control into, let's get him. We need to indict him. Nobody's above the rule of law. Meanwhile, Hillary, and I want a Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump 2024, but Hillary Clinton funneled and transferred and siphoned classified data for 4 years. And now she's still saying there was no classified data. After Comey himself, James Comey himself, stated there was top secret and special access program intelligence, and nobody knows how that data got onto Clinton's servers outside of the United States government. There was no need for a special master there. She deleted 30,000 emails without any government oversight. Okay? Trump doesn't have that luxury. He doesn't have the luxury to say, you know what, I'm just going to keep everything I want, and here's what you have. They wanted all the boxes. He already gave 15 boxes in February, okay? He didn't delete everything the way Clinton did with servers. She gave servers with nothing on them to do the Federal Bureau of Investigation. But anyway, then you have Hunter with clear violations of the law in his emails published by the New York Post and the Daily Mail. That's why Twitter tried to silence and suppress discussion and suspended the New York Post's account 2 years ago. Very interesting. Wow, what a coincidence. How convenient. But here, a federal judge's extraordinary decision on Monday to interject in the criminal investigation into former President Donald J. Trump's hoarding of sensitive government documents at his Florida residence showed unusual solitude to him, legal specialists said. Isn't that interesting how the rule of law suddenly just is trampled upon, and they take a gigantic you-know-what on the rule of law when it doesn't work for them. Immediately, the Atlantic Judge Cannon's ruling is untethered to the law. Business Insider, Bill Barr, judge's ruling was wrong in Mar-a-Lago investigation. Don't you love this? Whenever they get, it could be Clinton losing to Trump. He was installed by Facebook ads. And he colluded. He's not really. He was installed by another country. Then you get fast forward, mashed potato brains. American democracy is dependent upon accepting things. Accept. They didn't accept Trump as their president for 4 years. Not even the first day. Not even during his inauguration did they accept him. And these are the people. These are like rampant criminals and hypocrites. Breaking the law. Telling you about how the rule of law and democracy should exist. But anyway, hit subscribe to this channel, ladies and gentlemen. I'll have a live stream tonight. Be here for the live stream tonight at around 10 p.m. or so. Actually, 9:30, 9:45 p.m. So be here tonight for the live stream, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, the link will be below in the pinned comment. But there's a special master that's going to separate and subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel and also the Stock Market Crash channel. Support my Patreon. To my new Patreons, thank you. And also, if you want to give a super thanks, please do so for this segment. That's below next to the like and the share buttons. They don't even know why they're investigating Trump. People are saying, at the Atlantic, Washington Post, New York Times, he's not above the law. Hollywood, he had sensitive documents, so did Clinton. That's whataboutism. Yes, exactly. It's called hypocrisy. You set the precedent that Clinton can have top secret intelligence outside the U.S. government on servers that were completely private. Okay, you don't have to be a cybersecurity or national security expert to understand. If you have secret private servers that even President Obama doesn't know of. So if President Obama doesn't know that his own Secretary of State has secret servers, of course he did know. Of course that administration lied infinitely more than Trump's administration, okay, about major things. You didn't have obsessed journalists trying to fact check everything, okay? You had Attorney General Loretta Lynch meeting with Bill Clinton to speak about golf, Brexit, and grandchildren. Okay, when Democrats lie, they say the most absurd things in the world, and then the fact-checking organizations say, you can't prove that they didn't talk about Brexit. You can't prove that. Yeah, Bill Clinton was speaking to the Attorney General. If the tables were turned and Melania Trump was speaking to Bill Barr, oh my God, the rule of law. Oh my God, she'd be pressuring the DOJ not to indict Trump. But this is like, they were just talking, it's fine. When President Obama says, gosh, I learned from CNN that my Secretary of State had private servers. That's totally fine. You can't fact check that. How can you prove President Obama didn't know? So they make the most absurd allegations and you have to just believe it. Because it's the rule of law and democracy. Democracy entails believing all the nonsense from Democrats. Oh, Joe, Hunter, I never knew anything. Come on, man. I never knew anything about my Hunter business deals, man. Come on, man. He did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong, man. Democracy entails. There's some good Republicans, but man, I can't name one. These people are the greatest narcissists. And they have a public relations monstrosity shielding them from the truth. When confronted with emails, they will suspend the New York Post. They will get former intel officials to intimidate, to just tell Twitter. Twitter is willing participant in all the censorship. So they will silence the New York Post when they have a legitimate story showing graft and bribery. Emails that say, how can you use your influence, Hunter, on the company's behalf? His influence being Joe. And then they get hundreds of millions of dollars in business deals. Joe meets with people in the West Wing as vice president, according to the New York Post. But that is not an affront to democracy or the rule of law. I mean, you have half the electorate that is shielded by the Atlantic, the Washington Post, the New York Times, CNN, MSNBC. They don't know all the things Hunter has done. They don't know the mockery, the complete mockery to national security of top secret intelligence on servers that even James Comey said, yeah, there were violations of the legal statutes, but no reasonable prosecutor would indict. He said that. Okay? By the way, be here tonight for the live stream. Comey said that. I mean, he was the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. That's what so the president there was no intent to own secret private servers funneling and siphoning classified data for 4 years that were unencrypted at one point. There was no intent to have people working at the State Department just servicing those networks. There was no intent. Okay, but Trump, he's a former president, has boxes. They were packed by his staff. He gave 15 boxes in February, negotiating with them. He's not hiding. He doesn't have secret box. He doesn't have a secret U-Haul network. Clinton had secret servers. Hunter has graft and bribery emails that are just, we can read them. You could indict both of them in 2 seconds. But Trump, it says a criminal investigation. And there's a criminal investigation in Georgia and New York, and a criminal investigation with the special counsel Mueller, and a criminal investigation in January. He's a criminal. Haven't you heard that criminal investigation phrase numerous times, endless times with Trump? So therefore, he's really corrupt. Meanwhile, the people who commit crimes completely covered up by the Atlantic, the Washington Post, the New York Times, Jimmy Kimmel. I mean, where would Democrats be if they didn't have all of late night, all of media, corporations siding with them? Where would they be? We would know exactly that their corruption and their lies far greater menace or, obstacle to national security. Clear violations of the law. From Tammany Hall to today, it's called honest graft. You don't have to go, this is like, you just learn basic U.S. history. Tammany Hall, they were doing the same thing, but without emails and without secret servers. They don't have a case on Trump, although they could very well indict him. They might have to indict him because Joe's going to get impeached in 23. 2023 is going to be a very interesting year. This channel is going to grow in 23, and so will H.A. Goodman's other channel and the Stock Market Crash channel, unfortunately, because our economy is going to continue to tank. The stock market is going to collapse. Corporate profits are going to tank. That's the main thing. And it's just going to be a terrible situation. As I beg for Super Chat during the live streams and, beg for Patreon and Super Thanks, save your money. Save your money every month, every week, every month. Save your money because it's in Biden's America, we have real wages going down 4.4%. The economy's contracting, but we have interest rates going up. Corporate profits will decline. You'll see layoffs and a huge crash. Anyway, give me your thoughts below. And I predicted the recession and the crash that we've seen this year in the market, but it's going to be much worse. Give me your thoughts below. Hit subscribe. I'll have a live stream. I'll have an upload in a couple of hours, and then a live stream later tonight, about 9:45 p.m.